Questa mattina mi sono alzato, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Questa mattina mi sono alzato ed ho trovato lì.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Melissa's Menu. The past few shows have been inspired by holiday recipes, but this time I'm cooking up a hearty Italian dinner. Tonight's show is appropriately called Italian Feast Night. That's right. Now, I'm by no means Italian, but Italian food is my favorite food. Well, besides chocolate, but you should already know that if you've been watching Melissa's Menu every week, which I hope you have, and if you haven't, well, you better start. Several people asked me to make a homemade lasagna. So with that being said, on tonight's menu, I have homemade Caesar salad with pancetta. This is incredible. It has crispy pancetta and roasted tomatoes, not your typical Caesar salad. Lasagna, who doesn't love lasagna? And you can't have an Italian dinner without an Italian dessert. So I will show you how to make individual tiramisus in martini glasses. You know how I love presentation. Before we begin, I have a very special guest on the show tonight. My dad. He came all the way from Maine to be on the show tonight. Come on over, Dad, and say hi to the camera.
Hi, everyone. Glad to be here with number one cook in the house. So.
Okay, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to start with the first recipe, which is a lasagna, just because it takes about 45 minutes to cook. What I've started so far is just preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And over here I have a pot of boiling water. To that I'm going to season it with some kosher salt. And Dad, do you know what else you're supposed to add to water in order to make the pasta from sticking?
A little bit of olive oil.
Yes.
Go in.
So if you could grab the olive oil over there and just pour a little bit in the pot here. That's good. And it calls for about a ½ pound of lasagna. This package is one pound, so just about half of this. So I'm going to add the pasta right into the boiling water. While I'm doing that, if you could start chopping the onion. We're just using a yellow onion, a cup of chopped onion. Okay, so while he's chopping the onion, I'm going to go ahead and start with the sausage. We're using 1.5 pounds sausage. Now, you can always use turkey sausage. If you like, you can use ground beef, you can use ground turkey, really whatever you like. We're using sweet Italian sausage. Good job over there.
Hey, this ain't my first rodeo here.
He chops a mean onion. Could you grab the olive oil, please? And can you measure out about a cup of onions? Right in here, please. And all I'm doing is adding just about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Perfect, thank you. Okay, let's let these cook for just about 5 minutes. And after that, we're going to add 2 garlic cloves. We don't want to add them quite yet because we simply don't want the garlic to burn. And I know I've talked about that in the past. Not a good taste. What do you think? Did the onions look like they're cooked okay or a little bit longer?
A little longer.
Okay.
Another minute.
Listen to him. He's
Another
acting
minute, whatever.
He's acting like he's the chef here.
Yeah, wait till you get the bill.
All right, we'll let this go for another minute or so, and then we'll add the sausage in. Okay, onions are all set. Now, Dad, I'm going to have you add in the sausage, and while you're doing that, I'm just going to drain the pasta behind me. So, again, 1.5 pounds of the sausage, so let's trade spots here. And the sausage is going to cook about 8 to 10 minutes, and you can just kind of break it up with a fork after you put it in the pot there. Good job. Sausage is fully cooked. The onions, it smells
Great. That's very good.
Okay, so what I need you to do now is add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes.
With all the juice, the whole thing?
Yes, you definitely want to add everything. Good question. You don't want to drain that. That's coming right into the skillet over here. And we're also going to add a 6-ounce can of tomato paste. So after you're done that, if you could open the tomato paste add that in at the same time, please. And while he's doing that, I'm going to start chopping the fresh herbs, which really make this dish. Basil and flat leaf parsley.
Okay. Why would this not work?
Now we're going to use about, I don't know, maybe a half cup or so of fresh basil. Make sure you use the fresh basil. It really gives the dish a nice flavor. It goes so well with tomatoes. So let's switch spots here. Add that right in. While he's doing that, I'm just going to chop the basil. We don't want the stems in there. So what exactly is, someone asked me the other day, what is our heritage?
Oh, we got some German. We have
Oh,
some
right, from Grammy.
Scotch. A little bourbon, I'm not sure. We have some English.
Okay. And by the way, just give the basil a rough chop. Doesn't have to be anything perfect, by the way. While you're doing that, I'm going to add this in. Look at the colors. Isn't it beautiful?
Not bad. Looks pretty good.
Now, I've got a little bit too much parsley. Maybe, I don't know, 2 tablespoons or so. We don't want a whole lot because we are going to add it into the cheese mixture as well. Looks great. And we'll just save the reserved parsley over here for the cheese mixture, like I said earlier. Wow, we really do make a mess, though. What do you think Mom would say if... do you think she'll be surprised with how good...
She'll call me from work and she'll say, what's for supper? I'll say, meet me at the corner store.
The corner store. Now...
Did I mention I'm from Maine? Okay.
Now, if you've noticed, I pronounce all of my R's, unlike...
Oh, another smart guy, yeah.
1.5 teaspoons of salt. You can keep stirring. And about a half teaspoon of ground pepper. Did you ever work in any restaurants growing up?
No, I only worked on the Coast Guard on a ship.
Oh, that's right. And you worked as a
I
chef.
was a cook. No.
That's where you get your love of cooking
That's
from.
where I get it.
Were you pretty good? Did they
You
love
ought
your
to try
food?
cooking in the North Atlantic when it's rocking and rolling.
Okay, while he's doing that, I'm going to start the cheese. Now, this lasagna has a lot of cheese. It has 4 different types of cheese: ricotta, mozzarella, Parmesan, and goat cheese, believe it or not. So while he's stirring that, I am going to chop, I have a pound of mozzarella cheese over here. We want to slice this pretty thin. If you don't have one of these cheese slicers, no problem. Just use a sharp knife. Oh, do you like mozzarella?
I like about any kind of cheese except goat.
We're going to add a 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. And while I'm adding this in, I'm going to have you crack the 1 egg, because that's going in here as well. I'm adding a cup of Parmesan cheese into the ricotta. And this is going to give it a nice nutty flavor. And 4 ounces of goat cheese. I mentioned this earlier. It's not your typical cheese that you'd put into a lasagna, but it really gives it a nice flavor. Just crumble it in. I know that you said that you don't really like goat cheese, but will you at least try this?
I'll give it a shot.
Perfect. You're doing really good so far. Okay, I'm going to just wash my hands. If you could go over to the sink and just grab the lasagna noodles, bring that whole pot over here. Okay, so we have the cheese mixture. I'm adding to that the other remaining 2 tablespoons of the parsley. Just kind of eyeball it, and that looks about right. and then a half teaspoon of salt and a quarter teaspoon of pepper. You don't need a whole lot of salt because the Parmesan cheese is very saucy. So, a little bit of pepper and a little bit of salt. We have the cheese mixture ready. Let's go ahead and start. We are first going to, and I'm going to have you do this part, Father. Take the ladle.
When's the last time you called me Father? What brought that on?
I'm being very serious
Okay.
now. Father. Okay, ladle some of the meat mixture on the bottom of the pan here. Just kind of spread that out. After he's done that, I'm going to add 1 layer of the mozzarella cheese. Like I mentioned, I have a pound of mozzarella cheese. Slice it as thick or as thin as you like. I think that looks good. Just kind of spread that out. Yeah. Perfect.
A little more. That's it.
That's fine.
Okay.
We make a really good
We
team.
do.
Okay, so let's just...
Have I got my raise yet, or is that going to be a while?
No, you're not getting the
Okay,
raise
good.
until you do a couple of the shows.
Okay. Good.
Here, I'll give you some of the cheese and just
Do
kind of
that.
layer it like that.
Do
Okay, so mozzarella is done. Now, where am I? We are adding the cheese mixture, just about a half of the cheese mixture. We're going to spread this out. Doesn't that look good?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Very good.
And just side by side. Oh, by the way, you can always buy those, the lasagna noodles that are the no-bake ones. They work just as well. You don't have to cook them or anything. By the way, there's no real special way that you have to assemble this. Okay, good. Look at you go. And just leave the rest of it, and we're going to add that on at the very end. So on here, we're going to do some more mozzarella. And we'll just use the rest of this right now. Add some more pasta noodles. This feeds an army. This is a great recipe if you have a big family. Kids love lasagna. Okay, to that, we're going to add the rest of the mixture here. Just kind of spread that out. And then we'll finish it off with the meat mixture. And sprinkle, of course. What kind of cheese are we going to sprinkle at the end?
I don't know. I forgot already. You can fire me, I guess. I missed it. I don't know.
Parmesan. And here I was saying how good you were doing. I'm just kidding. You're doing good. Okay, add the rest of the meat mixture on, please. This is going into a preheated oven, 400 degrees, for about 30 to 40 minutes, depending on your oven. Just make sure you check on it, and you can cook it uncovered, by the way. I'll take over from here, Father. Fabulous. This looks awesome. Okay, a little bit of cheese. Oven is all ready. Tell me this doesn't look to die for. I have some hungry guys here tonight waiting for this to be finished cooking. They've got to wait another 30 to 40 minutes though. Wait till you see our next recipe, by the way. It's one of my new favorite recipes for salads. Okay, do you want to put that in the oven, please? Great. Okay, we're starting next with our Caesar salad with pancetta. This is not your typical Caesar salad. It's 10 times better, I promise. We're using crispy pancetta and roasted tomatoes on top as well. We're making a homemade Caesar dressing, and we're going to cook the pancetta. Pancetta is Italian bacon. It is bacon that's cured with salt, pepper, and spices, but it's not smoked. So we're cooking this in our skillet over medium to high heat. And we just want it to be crispy, maybe 8 to 10 minutes or so. And after that, we're going to drain it on a paper towel, just like you would do with regular bacon, actually. Okay, so, Father, you stir that. What I'm going to do next is work with the roasted tomatoes. I have about 10 to 12 ounces of cherry tomatoes right here, washed and rinsed. Put these right on your bacon sheet. And you can always use more if you'd like. I know how much you love tomatoes, so you're going to love this.
Tomatoes.
Yes. What we're going to do with this is sprinkle it with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil.
Don't lose any of those. I might have to have a couple.
I will do my best.
All right.
Do you and Mom still have a garden, by the way?
Oh, yeah, boy.
That was like eons
That
ago.
was like you were like knee-high to a grasshopper.
I was like a year
The
old.
one and only garden we ever had.
I'm just sprinkling this with a little bit of salt and pepper. This is going to go into the oven. We just want the tomatoes to become soft. Don't these look good? I mean, you could just eat them like this.
Yeah, they're great. I love them.
But you have to wait. Be patient.
Don't make me wait too long.
These are going to take about 15 to 20 minutes, by the way, in the oven. So if you could slide over for 1 second, I'm just going to pop these in the oven. Okay.
We're good.
The pancetta is done. I'm going to drain it on the paper towel over here. Okay, we have the tomatoes in the oven. Why don't I have you start chopping up the romaine lettuce?
Yeah.
We're using about 2 heads of romaine lettuce. And while he's doing that, I'm going to start the sauce. This is great. Everything goes right into the food processor for this dressing. Homemade Caesar salad dressing. Yes, with anchovies. Don't freak out yet. Okay, let's start. I'm first adding 1 egg yolk. Okay, egg yolk goes right into the food processor here. Missed some of it there. Okay. Put that aside. To that, I'm adding 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. This is going to give it a nice kick. Okay, we've got that done. I'm adding 2 garlic cloves. Grab a spoon over here. Now, at this point, you should know what I'm about to say. What? I can't hear you. That's right. Garlic makes everything taste better. Right, Dad?
Right.
You do like garlic, I hope.
I love garlic.
Okay, good. After the garlic, we're adding the anchovies. Now, this is optional. If you want, you can always opt for the anchovy paste. It's a little bit saltier, so don't use as much. So we are using just a little package here, 8 to 10 of the anchovies. Oh, this is so nasty looking. Oh, are you sure I should add this? Oh, gross, you do this part.
Oh, no. I'm older than you. I have seniority. What is it?
You do this part. Oh. Do you want to do this part, or do you want me to do it?
I'll let you do the honors, please.
Okay. Here.
Grind them up good.
Ugh. Count for me. 2, 3,
How many are you putting in?
8.
All
Gross. How many is that?
right. 6.5 is good. You're golden. You're good right there.
Okay, anchovies are in. You can throw those away.
Nasty.
Okay, now we need a ½ cup of lemon juice. Okay, so we're going to add this right in the food processor. So far, so good, right?
Can't wait for those anchovies. Fire those babies up. Ooh.
To that, we're
Wow.
adding 2 teaspoons of kosher salt and a ½ teaspoon of fresh ground pepper. Kind of eyeball it there. We're going to add 1½ cups of the extra virgin olive oil. Good. Oh, yum. Nice. Came out good. Okay. And now we're just going to add a ½ cup of grated Parmesan cheese. No need to blend this. We're just going to pulse it for about 3 or 4 times. Excellent. And there you have it, folks. Homemade Caesar dressing. Let's pour this into this measuring cup. Does that look good?
That does look good.
Let's plate up one of these babies. Is that enough salad for you?
That's enough salad for 2. Fine, yeah. Yep.
Pour a little bit of dressing. You can also put the dressing right in the salad as well if you like to do it that way. Either way is fine. And do we have a spatula? A couple of tomatoes on top. Look how nice and soft these came out. See? That's exactly what you want to look for. This is beautiful. You can't get this at any regular restaurant, I'm telling you. And then, of course, the pancetta.
So let's see what under the hood here. Let's see what you've done. Wow. Great. Great. Wonderful.
Oh, I forgot the croutons. These are optional, but I mean, any Caesar salad has croutons. Okay, now try it with the croutons.
Great.
Okay, now for our last recipe. Tiramisu in martini glasses. You guys know I'm all about presentation. This is absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Now, for those of you who don't know, first of all, what tiramisu is, it's a very popular, light and refreshing Italian dessert. The basic ingredients are eggs, mascarpone cheese, ladyfingers, espresso or coffee, and brandy or other coffee-flavored liqueur. My favorite ingredient, chocolate. Yes, I know that all of you are surprised, but it is topped with cocoa and a little bit of cinnamon as well. First, we're going to open our package of ladyfingers. This is what they look like. Now, you can buy these in your local grocery store bakery. However, they sometimes don't have them, so you may have to go to an Italian bakery to buy these. What we're going to do first is paint them. This is an art class for this one. We're combining a ½ cup of very strong coffee or espresso and 2 ounces of coffee flavored liqueur. I have a little nip of Kahlua here, so I use that, and I'm going to add that into the coffee. This is a really, really good dessert, and it's not real heavy. A lot of people love it. Mix that up. And now I'm just taking a silicone pastry brush and painting the lady fingers, and I'm going to line them in the martini glasses. Very simple. You want to make sure it soaks up a lot. This is such a cute dessert. I'll just do one to start off, just so you can at least see how to make it. Okay. Now, next we're going to add the mascarpone cheese. 1 container is 1 cup. You need 2 cups for this recipe. Again, this is going to make 4 servings. I'm going to add this right into the electric mixer over here. Mascarpone cheese is a very fresh cow's milk. It's a triple cream cheese made from low fat content, about 25%. Okay, there's 1. And we're going to just add the powdered sugar to this and beat it for 2 to 3 minutes. And let's beat this. Okay. The mascarpone cheese is all done with the powdered sugar. Should be nice and light and fluffy, which it is. And you want these to sit in the fridge for, I don't know, a good 20-30 minutes, just until they're nice and cold and chilled. Oh, they look so good. I love this recipe. Now we're just going to put a lady finger on top of each of these. And my favorite part, in just a minute, is the chocolate. If you have any left, just put another dollop on top there. Aren't these gorgeous? Just enough. Okay. A little bit of cocoa, or a lot in my case. I love this. That's my favorite ingredient. And a little teeny bit of cinnamon. This will bring out the chocolate flavor. And I mean very little. You do not want a lot of cinnamon. It could really overpower it. Absolutely beautiful. That's all the time we have tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Melissa's Menu. Come on over here and say goodbye. Thanks again for my dad coming
everyone.
from Maine.
It's
Did
been
you have a
fun.
good time?
I did. I had a great time. Let's eat.
If you have any questions, comments, or if you like copies of the recipes, please email me at melissasmenu@gmail.com. Have a great night. See you next time.
Che bel fiore, e questo è il fiore del partigiano. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 e questo è il fiore del partigiano. Morto per la